I'm too tired of seeing men feeding off your energy and then not giving anything back. Seeing how they move forward with the next woman and they give everything, and meantime with you he had commitment issues. With his ex he gave it all, but then when it comes to you, you have to beg for the bare minimum. Well, my love, this is embarrassing. I don't want you to embarrass yourself anymore. I don't want you to beg anymore. I'm showing you in this video how to make men want to meet your standards. Because it's not as hard as it seems. This is frustrating, but men, when they see you and when they feel your energy, they can classify you as the woman that is just for entertainment. That they feed off your energy, suck it out of you and leave you there like that. And other women that they put on a pedestal. They want to meet their standards, it's their dream girl, and they will do anything for her. And I want you to be the second one. I don't want your energy to be food for desperate men that just want entertainment. First of all, I want you to understand that most women don't get respected by men because they focus too much on earning his respect. To get him to do things for them, to be loyal, they want to earn his respect. Instead, the women that actually get respected, they have clear standards and they meet their standards before asking the man to meet them. This is the most important part. If you think that being a feminine woman is just accepting everything without ever complaining about anything because they told you to not complain too much, no, babe, that is not being feminine, that is being a doormat. Letting him follow whoever he wants on social media, being there when he has these female friends that are almost borderline friends with benefits, or he ghosts you for a few days and then comes back like nothing happened, but you act unbothered because you are busy and have a life outside of him. You are tolerating disrespect. Whoever is teaching you that this is black cat energy or is feminine or whatever it is just teaching you to accept disrespect. Because the only thing that you are showing this man is that whatever he does, there is no consequence. The reason why this doesn't work is because it makes you tolerable. It doesn't make you magnetic or enigmatic, anything. It's just, you're basically not bothering him. He can do anything he wants and you just don't disturb him meantime. And I'm not saying go insane, become crazy and make a scene, but also don't act like you just don't care, because you know very well that you care, and if you keep acting like you don't care, you will go insane. And you know, because this keeps happening over and over again. Let's say, for example, he keeps talking to other girls after you already invested some of your time in him and you are interested clearly, but he keeps entertaining other girls. And you say, look, I don't feel attracted to men that love entertaining many women. I don't like men that are polygamous. I have an idea in my head of my ideal man and it definitely is not like that. See, you didn't act crazy. You sounded like someone that has standards. You now act from a place of abundance, of a woman that knows her value. It shows that you already know that some men meet this standard, some men don't, and you are just willing to discard someone that doesn't. Literally, you can call things for what they are. When someone likes to entertain multiple women, to have open relationships, all of this, even if you're just getting to know each other, this is polygamy. You're not polygamous. Okay, you have the right to tell a man that you don't like polygamous men. You can also say, my man would never do this, so you might not be what I'm looking for. You're not making it about him right now. You're making it about your standards. And this is the difference between begging and having standards. You don't beg him to change. You accept him for what he is. You're just not willing to take him. But then the thing is that you can't set a standard if you don't meet your own standard. You want to be respected, then you need to have self-respect. This is gonna give me a lot of backlash, but if you tell a man that you're seeing other men, this is not making you sexy, this is not making you magnetic, this is making you someone that looks accessible. Because most men know very well how easy it is for other men to be attracted to a woman. Men don't have these high standards. They like anyone that gives them attention and that looks accessible. A little bit of attention and accessibility is enough for most men for entertainment. The moment that you tell a man that respects himself, respects his effort and his time, that you are seeing other men, he will lose interest. You know who's gonna stay and who's gonna be more interested. The boys that their fantasies are literally just being with two girls at a time or sharing a girl. Those boys are gonna be amazed by the idea that you see other men and that you are open like this, because it also gives them permission to do the same. Looking accessible for a real man is not attractive. A man that is willing to invest in you, to respect you, to actually build a life with you is not gonna be amazed by the fact that maybe he's busy one day and you are open to see other men that day. If you tell this to me, that yes, look, I'm seeing more girls at the same time, I'll be running, but not because I'm jealous, because I might get a disease. This is the first thing that comes to my mind. I might get a disease, even if the guy, even if the guy is not telling me I'm sleeping with other women. I still think, okay, but it can always happen, no? I don't know. I don't know what you guys do when you're together. You want to show him you're not desperate. Okay, then the high value version of this is showing him that you are almost inaccessible, even for him. You could say, at the moment I'm not completely closed off for something, but it has to be truly my type, and truly the type of relationship that I want. Otherwise, I don't have time to waste right now. I'm really focused on myself and I don't have much time for men. Okay? This shows him that you respect your own dignity and his dignity. Because the moment that you tell someone, look, you're so replaceable that the moment you're busy, I might be seeing someone else. Babe, if this man respects his dignity and himself, he will run away. He might not ghost you in the moment, or he might not say anything in that moment specifically, but he will classify you as entertainment. And when he will find a girl that he feels respected by and that he feels safe with, he will move forward with that girl, and you'll have to take it. You'll have to act again like you're okay with that. Which maybe you acted that you met someone else and that you were also seeing other guys. Maybe it was not even true. Maybe you just said it for the sake of making him jealous somehow. But now you have to also act like you're okay with this, because you set that rule. You set the standard. I don't know why everyone suggests to do this, because I truly believe this is fantasy thinking. Thinking that this can work on a proper man is fantasy thinking. Next one is extremely important, because you need to know how to communicate your standards without being overwhelming to be around. If you can't communicate your boundaries, you can't expect to be happy in a relationship, because otherwise you will always have to settle for something. In my culture, we are raised to see as disrespectful things that are super normal in the rest of the world. That can be the way someone opens the door, the way someone talks to us, the tone of the voice, some jokes. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but it's just the way that we feel about certain things. So standards technically are way higher. I used to try to hide the standards, to think I don't want to be too much, I don't want to be someone hard to be around. But in the end I was becoming more frustrated and less feminine, because I was constantly feeling like my standards weren't met and I was being disrespected, and I understood that I can't be happy and feminine in a relationship where my nervous system doesn't feel safe. When I feel like, even if there are small things, but I always have to settle for something that is not what I want in order to keep the peace. So I started saying everything out loud. I don't like something, I say it. And this made my relationship also work much better. He has the privilege of having a more feminine and fulfilled version of me, and I have the privilege of feeling like that myself. You also can't be able to relax around someone that constantly pushes your boundaries. Even if you think they are too much, you have to understand some people are not going to be compatible with you. When you say your boundaries out loud, you communicate them clearly, you realize that with some men you can have chemistry, but doesn't mean that they are compatible with you. People are raised in different ways. Some people in some cultures have a completely different way of growing up. We have different parents, we have different values. So you have to understand that with some people you'll just set a standard and they will not be able to meet it. But this doesn't mean that there is not a person out there that meets all your standards and that is exactly like you want. If someone is not willing to meet your standard and you have to lower your standard, you are gonna lose yourself. Your nervous system will constantly be stressed around this person. And if this happened to you before, you realize that when your nervous system doesn't like someone, you start getting acne, you start getting unhealthy, eating more, being more stressed. All of these things are not doing any good to you. So you are not losing someone just because they cannot meet your standards. It's much better to have this person moving on rather than falling in love with their potential, investing your time, your energy, and then just to find out that this person is just not able to meet your standards, and then you have to settle. No, we don't do this. But also, how do we communicate this to him? When he doesn't meet a standard, we don't start telling him, I will just go with someone else, I will find someone else better. No. We say, look, this is my standard. If you can't meet it, I will not feel safe around you. This is a calm, feminine, respectful way to tell him that you need to feel safe. You're not nagging, you're not begging, and you are not acting like a child or like someone desperate for attention that is just trying to fill in a void. But you have to be willing to let go of him after this. Not because you asked him to change and he didn't, and now you're in the position of this desperate woman that is disappointed. No, this is your standard. If he really wants you, he will meet it. Ask yourself, am I feeling safe enough to be feminine and soft, or am I swallowing whatever that comes my way, whatever disrespect and whatever thing that doesn't meet my standards just for the sake of performing femininity? Because when you take something that is not what you want, you're performing femininity. It's not like you're being grateful for something that he did, even if it's small. No, you're performing. People can sense desperation. Men especially can always feel the difference between a woman that is feminine generally and a woman that is performing femininity out of desperation and out of seeking approval. Stop thinking that you're not worth your standards, because they will go out of their way every day for meeting the standards of the woman that they want. But if you don't even have the strength to stand up for your standards, you will never even know if you're that woman. So instead of thinking that you're a problem, study yourself deeply. Study what bothers you, how certain things make you feel, what are your non-negotiables. Have everything so clear that the moment that you state a standard, you're not wondering, you are stating reality. Like saying the sky is blue. There are some things about yourself that you have to accept because you can't change them. And trying to change them means settling. And this can be because your parents raised you like that, or because some past experience, or whatever want and need that you have. You can't decide what you want. You can only decide what you accept. You have to find a person that is truly compatible with that, because otherwise it's always going to be like a dead weight that you have to carry. Men will always go out of their way to pursue a woman that they like. And if he's not doing the things that you want him to do for you, know that for his dream girl, he would do it. Especially if it's something like unfollowing his ex or buying you flowers. You can ask any guy friend you have if for his celebrity crush he would do things that you usually ask a man to do. You have to beg for the bare minimum. That bare minimum, your guy friend for his celebrity crush would do it in any moment. Why? Because men have this instinct to create safety for the woman that they want. But they only do this when they are truly interested in a woman. And if you think that this is too much to ask for, just think about the fact that some men literally move to another country just because they know that in that country there are women that are their type. There are men that get hair transplant just to appeal to younger women because that's their type. There are men that literally go to the gym, lose weight, eat less, just in order to be liked by the woman that they have a crush on. All of this for an imaginary girl that they saw once, twice, or didn't meet at all. And whatever standard you have is too much to ask for. And also there are men that stay in extremely disrespectful relationships just because they really want that woman. They literally fight for them, choose them no matter how bad it gets, because they want that woman. But then your standard of him opening the door for you, that is too much to ask for. Another thing, many women, they believe that once they enter a relationship, they're settled and done. That could not be more far from reality. Because the moment you enter a relationship, that is a new era of the relationship with yourself. Most women pick up the habits of their partner. They start eating what they eat, doing what they do. They let go of their self-care routines. We don't do that. And it's not just because he might be interested in other women or look around or be attracted to them. It's because if we glow down, we start feeling insecure around other women. And when we start feeling insecure, all that aura that he found so hypnotizing in the beginning starts fading. And it's not just the appearance changing, it's the whole energy that we bring to the relationship that changes. Because we trust ourselves less, we trust also him less, and we start intoxicating the relationship even if it's healthy. This is how many women lose their spark. Not because he started looking around, but because she started trusting herself less. You should never be in the position where your relationship makes you sacrifice your beauty. Even if you have to tell him that you will go to the gym while he goes with his friends to a brunch on a Sunday, it's okay if that makes you feel like it's gonna make you more confident and more beautiful. You have to choose yourself. You should never lose your trademark beauty. If something, enhance it, but never sacrifice your beauty for the relationship. And when you feel beautiful, you feel empowered. You know who you are and you feel like yourself. But when you start adopting his habits and his ideas of what is beautiful, what is not, what you should wear, how you should look, and you start changing for him, you start losing that trust in yourself. Because you feel like before the relationship you were much more beautiful, you were much more yourself. You start basically becoming a custom version of you for him. This is the quickest way to lose your power. And that's why many women have a post-relationship glow up, because they feel like they finally have permission to be themselves again. The thing is that you don't need the relationship to end in order to feel that permission. You can give that permission to yourself. Relationship is not stopping you. It's the feeling that you have to meet his aesthetic standards, that you have to maybe gain some weight because he likes curvy, or lose some weight because he likes thinner, or doing some activities or some things that make you glow down for the sake of having a happy relationship. Even though if you're not happy in the relationship is still not a happy relationship. Actually, truly feminine women inspire themselves and their partner to stay in the same elevated version of themselves that they met in the beginning, also throughout the relationship, or become even better. So motivate him to stay in the same shape or even better than you found him. You both have the right to be with the person that you fell in love in the beginning, not a washed out version of them that is lazy, not interested in moving, that doesn't want to enjoy anymore the things you were enjoying in the beginning. Because being in shape, it's not just physical appearance, it's the whole vibe that the relationship revolves around. The activities you share together, the confidence that you carry yourselves with, it's a lot more. But then even if we put it around physical appearance, it's fair for you to have access to the same person that you met in the beginning. Not to settle for someone that just became lazy, didn't want to take care of themselves anymore, and in the end, you are the one settling. I'm not talking about women that are pregnant or something like this. This has nothing to do with it. I'm talking about laziness. Also, like I told you, never be in a relationship that throws off your nervous system. And for that, you need to learn to ask him why. Next time he does something wrong, instead of freaking out, telling him ugly things, insulting him, or giving him silence treatment, which by the way hurts more you than him probably. No, we ask with neutrality, why did you do that? And now we expect an explanation. Let's say, for example, he follows a certain girl just because she's pretty and he doesn't even know her, and you notice this, and you ask him, why did you do that? He will either have to admit that he likes her, which would be pretty awkward, or he will just be very uncomfortable, and he will remember this moment as something uncomfortable that is not worth doing. And I know what you're thinking, because this is not acting like a psycho, okay? I can see your thoughts about this. You think he's gonna think I'm crazy? No, my love, because you have the right to know what you are getting yourself into. No matter if this is a long-term relationship, and you have the right to know what your partner is doing, or if you're getting to know each other. If you invest time, energy, live alone your body into someone, you have the right to know what you get yourself into. He might, for example, ask you, why did you check my social media? This is crazy, whatever. And you can say calmly, no, look, I just want to know what I am into. I want to know who is the person that I'm seeing. It's not crazy. I want to know who you truly are and if you're truly my type, because I'm investing time in you. A feminine woman is able to fulfill herself. So she has many activities that fulfill her, that excite her. So the moment that she dedicates some time to a man, even if it's 1 date, 2 dates, that is time of her life. That is her physical presence, that is her not giving the time to herself, that is investing makeup, hair products. Leave alone if you give your body to this man or you kiss this man. This immediately puts her in the position where she has the right to know how is she investing her time, if it's worth it or not. And the man owes her an explanation and to be clear about his intentions. No passive aggression, no silence treatment, no freak out, just a simple question. Why? And a simple, clear answer. The thing is also that men these days, they don't respect women not because they don't want to or because they are bad men, but because they are getting used to women having no standards. Because most women out there accept anything. They accept the man to look around constantly, to check other women, to text other women, to ghost them and reappear again. They have super low standards just to not be alone. Men see this and they think that everyone is like this. But the moment he finds a woman with standards that respects herself and that reacts actually to the things that he does, he will be positively surprised. Maybe a little bit confused in the beginning because he will have to adjust, but he will respect that a lot. Because you have a certain authority, you are willing to walk away if something bothers you. And not out of fear or out of anxiety, but because you meet your own standards before you ask him to meet them. It's not just about beauty, because your standards make you stand out. People value others that value their time, their presence, and their dignity. And the most important thing, do all of this from a place of self-obsession, not obsession with him. You are obsessed with your standards, not with the man. Always center your standards. Not that he's wrong, you're right, he's bad, you're good, or he disappointed you so much because he's an asshole and you put so many expectations onto him. No. Always about what you expect from a man and whether he's qualified or not for that place in your life. You never ask him to meet your expectations. You only analyze if he's worth your energy. You see how it's not a tragedy about what he did or how he behaves. This is just analyzing the situation and how it interacts with your standards. This is your talking point, not him. Never, you are an asshole, you disappointed me, you are so bad. No, this gives him too much attention, and attention is a price. You never reward bad behavior with attention. When you get defensive, become calmer, not louder, and always defend your standards, never the relationship. Because it's not your job to fight in order to be respected. It's not your job to save the relationship because he can't give you respect, or to explain to a man how to treat you right. State what you don't accept. Never reactive, never offensive, just calm and calculated when you feel disrespected. But then how do you show standards without begging? When something bothers you, instead of begging him to do things right, you revoke access to something. Something that before was normal for you to do together, now that thing is out of reach. Maybe you had your day of the week where you used to do some plan. Well, suddenly that day I'm busy. Maybe you live together and you used to share a certain space at a certain time. Well, today I feel like being on my own. You can say, look, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I need to be on my own right now because I need to process what happened. And if he says you are dramatic, no, this is how I feel about what happened. Always show that his actions have consequences. No nagging, not begging, just consequences. And this is how you show people that you have standards and that they have to respect your standards or you will be out of reach. Having standards makes you high value because you choose what suits you. It's not about asking something that doesn't exist to someone, but choosing a person that suits you. If someone doesn't suit you and is not willing to try, then you're gone. You save your energy, you save your time, and you put it in the right place. Even if in that moment the right place is you. Also, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here and for watching this video. And I see you next time.